Welcome to the start of your Suzuki experience. It is impossible for me to overemphasize how important the basic posture is. We can get it now, or we're going to be fighting it all along, but you have to have it. It's like building a skyscraper. You don't get the skyscraper unless you've got the foundation. The first thing we're going to do is learn to bow. That is standard musical communication with the audience, for thank yous. And it also helps set apart a lesson from when it starts to when it ends. Now, the violin goes under the right arm. Notice I'm far enough back. I'm not touching the bridge, which is this little piece of wood. And I'm holding it close to my face. Like you could do the nose test. Don't do it, but see if you could. Now, you cannot tell what I'm doing with my feet, but I've got the heels together and I'm making a V shape. Oh, I should have done this first. Let's make a bow hand. And we're going to talk more about this later. If the bow is out, with the tip pointed the same side as the right shoulder, put out the right hand. We'll talk more about this later, don't worry. Put the thumb on a little piece of metal, it's called the ferrule. Curl your pinky, so it's about even with the end of the frog, and stand it up. That's your basic bow hand, but again, we'll talk about that later. Now, for bowing, you have your V feet. You have your basic bow hand, you're close to your face. Thumb goes on the back. Fingers go on the front and the side of the fiddle away from your face. Not here, there. And you want to lean a little bit forward on your toes so that your toes stay on the ground when you bow. You don't have to bow down too far. Just look at your toes. 1, 2, 3, and up. That's it. Now, this next step, I say take a step with your foot, a little step. Really doesn't matter. I do it with my right foot. Some people do it with their right, some with their left. Doesn't matter, as long as you're comfortable. Feet should be approximately shoulder width apart. Now, I'm going to do it right now the way your child would do it later, and then we'll backtrack. I will say, think of that perfect place. And I'm thinking of this spot right in here. And I would say, are you ready? Go. And the violin goes to its perfect spot, and the head turns, and you make a shelf. And then you're ready to play. Now, let's backtrack a little bit. And actually, let's see if we can get more of a close-up here. That's good. For a bow hand, I have to figure out where to stand. Okay. Your child's right hand is out. Imagine a dot in the middle of the middle finger. Have your child hold his hand out. Now, you're going to put the bow in it. Pointed end on his thumb side, squared off end, the frog end on his pinky side. And you're going to take that part of the bow, which is right here. There's a little bare spot in there between the frog and the winding. That bare spot is what you're aiming for. You've got your dot, put that bare spot on the spot. Now, just let the fingers fall over naturally. Thumb goes on the ferrule, should be bent out. Stand up, put your pinky in place. This is a good bow hand. It's a bit of an angle, which is the way it should be, approximately 45 degrees. Let's do that again. Put out the bow hand. Midpoint of the bow goes on that middle finger, that spot. Thumb goes on the ferrule. Stand it up. These guys just fall naturally. And the pinky's on his tip. The job of the pinky, don't do it now, but the job of the pinky is actually to balance the tip of your bow. This is a good bow hand. You're going to do this, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 times, something like that. And then you're going to put it on the pearl chart so he gets credit for it. And then you're going to move on. And you're going to work on the violin position. Now, when I talk about that perfect spot, I'm not straight up on the shoulder, I'm not down on the collarbone, I'm in between. So it kind of nestles in between the shoulder and the collarbone. So that when the violin comes up, and you'll do this for a long time, not your child, have your child stand so his left side is towards you. Have her take her left hand, put it on her right shoulder, make a shelf. Okay, then she's got that hand out of the way, and she's got her other shoulder ready to go. You're going to take that fiddle, and you're going to put it in right on that spot. You're looking for essentially a straight vertical nose. The line of the jaw should match the line of the chin rest. Okay? And this thing here is my shoulder pad. You'll have something different. You'll probably have a sponge. So that when I turn, my face is like this. Essentially pointed down the strings. And from here, the chin might be pointed slightly toward this side, like this, depending on your child. You might be slightly back, you might be slightly forward, but you're mostly going to basically vertical. And yes, you want to take that in and put it out, take it out, put it in, and you're going to do that a gazillion times. And you're going to do it quickly, 1 second at a time, because the longer it stays there, the more bored your child is going to get. You need to practice putting it in. If you don't like it, take it out and do it again. Take it out and do it again. Eventually you'll get it right. And even after you get it right, keep going for, I call it the 1 second technique. If you do it 60 times, each time for 1 second, and your child holds it perfectly for that 1 second, he has built up 60 seconds of memory doing it correctly. If you put it up and say, oh, that's not right, let's adjust it, or it stays up long enough it droops, over 60 seconds your child has learned how to droop or how to wiggle or whatever, and she has that in her memory banks. And that you don't want if you can avoid it. Now, the very first rhythm you're going to play, there we go, you have to be far enough back you can see my sign, is known as tucka tucka stop stop. And you're going to practice it, tucka tucka stop stop. Easiest way to do that is instead of you holding your child's hands, have your child wrap his hand around your thumb. So he's making your hands clap. Most children like that better. Set, clap, tucka, tucka, stop, stop, set, clap, tucka, tucka, stop, stop. And again, you're going to do this 40,000 gazillion times. You might do it on a drum. You could do it shaking hands. What you can do is put out your right hand, your bow hand. No. Put out your left hand, your violin hand. Put your bow elbow on your hand. Put your bow hand on your left shoulder, because the first stroke you always take is down bow, and then go tucka, tucka, stop, stop, set, rub, tucka, tucka, stop, stop, set, rub, tucka, tucka, stop, stop, set, rub, tucka, tucka, stop, stop. And You can also just plain shake hands. And if you do that, block the elbow so that it's a forearm action, because that's how you're going to play, from the forearm. Okay, so now we've talked about bowing, we've talked about the bow hand, we've talked about the violin. You have basically worked on the rhythm. At this point in your violin career, you finally get to play something.